Hi students, today's video we're going to talk about the difference between factorizing a quadratic expression versus solving a quadratic equation. Right, so to begin, let's have an example of what the expression is. So basically an expression is just something that's on that there is no such thing as left equals to right. There's only one side, meaning if you have like 2x squared plus 3x, so this is an expression. So can you see it's just like 2x squared plus 3x. There's no equal to whatever. It's just one-sided stuff. Another example could be like a negative x squared or x cubed, plus 2x. Or it can be ax plus a by, right? So if you look at what the expression is, it's just one-sided, okay? There's no equal to something. Whereas a an equation, oh, we are talking about quadratic, sorry. If it's quadratic, then this one doesn't fix into quadratic. Let's change it. So this will be okay, negative. Yeah, now it makes sense. Okay, quadratic means the highest power of the x must be 2. The highest power of x must be 2. So if you look at this, the highest power is 2. So that's quadratic. All right. So if it's an equation, then you need to have an equal 0. Okay, can you see? An equation usually have a left side and a right side. Okay, so this is the left side and this one is the right side. So if you look at the next one, negative x squared plus 2x is the left side. There must be an equal sign in the middle equals to the right side, or ax squared plus by equals to 0. Okay, so that's the difference between expression and equation, so you must get it right. Right, so I'm going to show you how you can actually factorize a quadratic expression versus solving a quadratic equation using completing the square method. Right, so this is very important. So let's talk about factorization first. Alright, so let's start off with having this expression. This is an expression, minus x squared minus 4x plus 3. This is an expression. Right, so to complete the square for this, we have to factorize negative 1 out first. Okay, so you just concentrate on the first two terms. If you concentrate on the first two terms, you factorize negative out. You have negative bracket x squared plus 4x. Why is it a plus? Because a plus multiplied with a negative then will give back your original negative. So here you have to be careful. And then you leave your plus 3 alone. Alright, then the third step. Yes, so we will have to complete the square. We have to add something to these two terms here. And the one that I need to add, you add and you take away. So the term that you need to add is the coefficients of x. So the coefficients of x here is positive 4. So we divide by 2. Right, and this guy here will form your complete square, which will become bracket x plus 2 to power of 2. This is a perfect square, will become a perfect square. And this, if you use your calculator to work it out, use a calculator, press negative first, followed by bracket 4 divided by 2, close bracket squared. You will get negative 4. Then the next step is very, very, very important. You must be careful. You have to multiply the negative into your square bracket. Oh yes, yeah. So that will end up to be a perfect square. Yes. And the one highlighted in yellow, you just use a calculator to work it out to get negative 4. Okay, right. And so this step here is important. So you multiply the negative with this square bracket, you end up with this. But if you multiply a negative with this negative, you get a positive. right? And this one, you have to simplify it again to get positive 7. So this is called factorizing an expression. So now let's look at what happens if you're asked to solve it. So to solve it means, can you see that on the right hand side is equals to 0? Okay. So solving it is easier. All we need to do is just to maintain the negative x squared minus 4x, the x squared and the x term on the left hand side. And the positive 3 will just bring it to the right hand side. And of course, before we can actually complete the square, we have to make the coefficients of x squared to be positive 1. This one you must remember. To apply completing the square, you have to make the coefficients of x squared positive 1. So I need to multiply by negative on both sides of the equation. Right, and now I can complete the square for your x squared plus 4x. Right, so solving an equation means I need to find the values of x that satisfy the equation. So here I should have two values of x. Okay, and because the answer is not exact, you leave the answer to 3 significant figure. Okay, so I hope that you learn from this video the difference between factorizing a quadratic equation versus solving a factorizing a quadratic expression versus solving a quadratic equation. This is a very, very important concept, so you must get it correct.